And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Howdy folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a game called MicroMacro Crime City, a city in which there is quite a bit of crime going on. But this game draws upon something that I loved as a child, and maybe you did, and that's looking at a big page and trying to find something on it. As most people call it, the Where's Waldo effect or some degree. Before that, for me, finding Goldbug in the Richard Scarry books. But that idea of looking for something, whether it was Waldo or Goldbug or whatever it was, looking on these books, as a kid I found that to be fun and fascinating, and even as an adult with my kids with those, it's entertaining. And that's what this game is. MicroMacro Crime City comes with a very large board that has a huge picture drawn on it, and you are walking through crime scenes in reverse, trying to figure out what happened. Here's how it plays. So this game involves a very large sheet of paper. You can see it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. This is my hand on it, so you can see just how big the paper is. This is a huge thing that's showing a snapshot of a city. Now, I want to be clear that it's not necessarily showing a snapshot of a city in time. It's showing multiple things happening throughout time. So, for example here, let's say you can see this car right here. And then over here, you can see, whoops, I'm going to have to move the camera a little bit so you can see it. You can see the same car again right there. And so that's to show the car being moved. So maybe you need to follow that car, or maybe you need to follow people. So this is like a bunch of different times all in the same picture, and that's going to matter for solving the cases. So you're going to get a bunch of cases here. So here's the Top Hat introductory case. This one's here to introduce you to the game. You might find out later the bank heist, and it shows you how difficult each of these are. And you have to be careful to not look at the back of these cards. And in fact, the game provides you with some little sleeves that you can put the cards into so that you don't spoil yourself. But once you pick a case, and this isn't really spoiling because it's the introductory case, you turn it over and it tells you a little bit here. It says that he was on his way and he noticed his top hat had disappeared. And he found out the pub. The pub is between Neptune Park and the Hardware City in the east of the city. So first of all, my first question here is, find the pub. So after a while, I finally find, Neptune Park. There's a picture of Neptune in the middle. And here's the hardware store. And where is this pub? Oh, there's a pub in between them. And in fact, when I zoom up on the pub a little bit, I even see the guy who's missing his hat. And if I have a hard time doing that, then there's a little magnifying glass which will help me move around and see the different people that are there. Once I figured that out, I'll turn the card over, and this card will say, hey, good, that's the pub. And it tells you in the top corner here, G2, the coordinates in the map. In case you ever get really stuck, you can find that. And then it says he was at the sausage stand northeast of Neptune Park. He's sure of that. So then my next thing I need to do is find the sausage stand. Now, even though this is an introductory one, I'm going to stop here. I don't want to spoil everything. But there are many, many different cases, and each of the cases gets progressively harder. And so you might have to follow people's back steps and figure out what they're doing, or look for someone who looks suspicious. And there's a lot of crimes going off in this city at any given point. Once you beat the scenario, once you found the last part, then you will just simply go again and pick another case and keep going. The artwork in the game is very silly, but I don't know, it's almost like, I don't know if they're animals or what's going on exactly. It is black and white, and I'll tell you, if you have a hard time seeing things when you put this whole thing on the table, it is a lot to look at. The magnifying glass helps a lot. It has to be black and white. I think it'd be too easy if it was in color. And unfortunately, it also has to be folded paper. I thought about laminating mine, but then where would I store it in between things? I don't know that it's that big of a deal, but it is really fun. You know, any part of this city, when you look closely at it, you might see interesting things going on. And I'm assuming, you know, many times I'm like, oh, I wonder if that's for another case. Well, we'll find out later. And in fact, there have been times where I'm like, oh, I remember seeing that in a different case. And I don't find that that's, you know, a huge problem here. But the fact that there is 16 different cases here in this game gives you a lot to do. And this is a fun one for families to work together as they all look over the whole map trying to find out where these things are. Now, there's just something fun about everyone gathering around and looking at a map and finding stuff on it. Like I said, I love doing this sort of thing. Now, even though you can get together and do this, and it's a really fun family activity, I will say that with a lot of people, there could be a few problems. At the beginning, everyone's looking around the map. I found it. Everyone's heads bumping into each other. Then sometimes they're backtracking somewhere in that vicinity, so we're all looking right there. Yes, occasionally you take the subway, so you need to go on different subway stops around town. But I think that it's almost best with just 3 or less, just because at a certain point you're kind of just saying, well, only so many people can stick their heads over that small section of the map. It's okay to play it solo. I've done it solo, but it's fun to do it with at least one other person because you can say, oh, look at this, and you're laughing over it. Although I will say some of the crimes are a little heinous, actually. These are not. While it's a family game, there's some, I don't know. I was surprised that some of these crimes, if it might have shown up in Law and Order, possibly. But I like it. Yes, at first glance, I was like, I don't know, it's a big white piece of paper with a lot of black on it. And if you have bad eyesight, this probably isn't a game for you, even with the magnifying glass. But it feels different. Yes, you are just looking for stuff, but you're also using knowledge. Okay, this person is here, his hat's gone. Oh, that person, they're looking at this person evilly. Oh, look, over here I can see them looking at the hat or whatever. I love that. There's a little bit of deduction, and they do get harder as you go through the different sessions. I don't think I've done all of them, but I've done more than half, and I've had a blast doing it. And some of my family members who are not big gamers found this one to be a lot of fun. So this is a fresh idea, an interesting take, certainly one to look at. That's MicroMacro Crime City. Check it out. I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching the Dice Tower. Dice Tower judgment approved.